Hello, Wanderers. Welcome to Soul Wanderings Night. I am AJ,
I am Natalie.
and we're your hosts of Soul Wanderings. Heard Wednesday night live on YouTube and Facebook, which I'm still logging into. This is what happens when you fly in by the seat of your pants. Hello, everyone. Welcome. How's it going, Natalie?
Oh, I'm a little distracted because I'm just trying to get my YouTube playing. Is it playing on your end? Anyway.
I'm not on YouTube yet. I'm about to
Oh,
get there. We had
there
a
we
good
go. It's
OER
there.
tonight.
Some technology thing, but I'm good.
Good. Just good.
Yeah, I'm such a worker bee that if I have like a day just in my own zone, this is what I realized today. I end up just um just like incorporating or integrating some of the work I do on myself, and it's a downtime for me. And um, I thought about some of the conversations you and I have had because you're always encouraging me to take my time and be good to myself and allow myself to rest and relax. And so got to do that a little bit today.
Take your time unless you need to be somewhere on time.
Right.
That's me. I'm like breezy. Oh, and I've got to be somewhere. Let's go.
That's right.
That's funny. Good. Well, I'm glad that you're good and you had an easy, flowy, happy day.
Yeah. How about you?
I've had a very blessed day. I just love being in our space.
Mm-hmm.
So, for those of you who are wondering more about us, visit soulwanderings.com. But during the day, we work in a space called Vibes, Mind, Body, Spirit, and I get to assist people in their human experience. So does Natalie. We just do it differently.
That's
Natalie
right.
focuses on grief and the human design system. I focus on some other things. I'm still coming back down from those other things. So let's see if I could like be grounded and human for a minute. But it's just beautiful and we just have a really great time and I just love being able to assist people in this experience cuz boy, whoo, is it a wild one.
Indeed, it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of things that matter and things that don't, we're going to talk about it. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. If you mind, it does.
Right?
So, welcome. What if the only thing standing between you and peace is what you are thinking about it, how
Yeah,
you're feeling about it? I
right.
ask myself that. Do I need to feel this today? Is this necessary? Anyway, so tonight we're going to talk about. I'm trying to remember what the theme was. It was affirmations.
Well, it was
Oh,
about.
affirmations that transform.
Mm-hmm.
What's your version of that? What affirmations that transform? What does that mean to you?
Um, so my version of that is what the framework is in your mind is often what holds you back, and the affirmations to take and like find and replace, find the things that are within your framework of your mind that are negative thinking patterns or that kind of thing, and then replace them with an affirmative statement that is self-affirming and affirming of your general nature. And I do a lot of work with my clients with that, and even with grief. So that's what I find about affirmations, things that resonate, things that are more truthful, that um, you can weave into your mental framework so
Mm.
that it will replace the negative stuff that we picked up along the way, the conditioning that we get in our minds, the programming we pick up from everywhere, advertising all over the place. We're so programmable.
Ah,
So
It's happening everywhere, all around.
So I'm kind of excited because I read a blog today. So as we get in here, what I read about today, I want to bring into the conversation, and I think it will be, well, it was kind of like aha for me. So hopefully that'll be for the audience.
Well, we can get into it at any time. Honestly, I don't have to guide the show. You can guide the show. You can break. We can bring it in.
Okay. So I read an article this morning that was someone was talking about AI, artificial intelligence, and the framework, and how um, artificial intelligence has been built. They're built on large language models, and then they're instructed, and so they're built in code. And I don't even begin to understand this completely, but I have the general framework that they have this. They code these large language models, and AI has the ability to scoop from all of this data, and then framework, and then respond, and then the people working with AI then begin to teach it, and then it's self-replicating or self discovery, and self-analyzing, and even self-improving. So because humans built it, it's like us, and but it's considered often more intelligence. But the thing that I wanted to bring up is the things that are in our mind that were programmed or conditioning from parents, teachers, siblings, peers, teachers, so schooling systems and philosophies that we've read, spiritual teachings, all of that is our own personal artificial intelligence.
Wow.
And to have an understanding that, because and I'm gonna weave in human design understanding that says, look, our minds are not for they're not equipped to guide our own personal life. They're really good for an outer authority, and if we encounter someone outside of us, they can be an outer authority, or they're not necessarily a good outer authority for us. And somewhere in our body, the vast majorities of humans have a place where the true knowing happens. And this is a body's trip. So our knowing that guides our truth of our life, and the deeper knowing and the ability to make decisions with our own life comes from inside of the body versus the mind. So this AI concept said, oh my goodness, most of us are running around with this language model that's in our mind that we've picked up from everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't accept our true self. In fact, it so often fights against our own nature. And then we end up being like, we need to improve ourselves, and we need to fix this thing, and we need to be like that person that we admire and this other person, and we should be like anyone but ourselves. And it makes a bitterness or frustrating or disappointing life. And that's not what we're here for.
No. And I love that take on it. Like, that's good stuff.
Yeah, so I was just like, whoa, this is so timely. And I love that nowadays I really trust my life. I trust that along my path, I'm being shown and given and receiving and encountering all the things that I need. And that's what happened this morning. I just pulled this up, and then I read it, and then I was like, dang, that's so good. I'm going to bring that to the conversation tonight.
It really is good. Actually, it's still kind of like marinating in my body, just like, like that there's something to that.
Yeah, so we have a framework within our mental space, our belief structures and all that, and sometimes we're aware of it and sometimes we're not. But what
Yeah.
you really can learn to be aware of, and you and I've been working on this a while, is how those things feel in our body.
Mm.
And as you learn the body tell, and you learn to understand that within yourself, then you know what how to understand. If you meet resistance in your body, then the mental framework is most likely flawed. And
Our
that's where we
it's
get into,
yeah,
yeah,
our bodies are amazing.
they are
And it's
incredible.
just wild how we're conditioned to not feel into them or lean into all of the little cues that they give us,
Hmm.
just to ignore them or whatever that looks like. And I just, the more we practice this, it's just mind blowing how things just fall into place and how alignment takes hold. Like, it's just so cool. And that's what I love about affirmations. Like, in the past, I used to believe affirmations. I'm like, "Ugh, like, we've talked about this. Like, I had an adverse reaction to affirmations for the longest time because I mean, I drank the Kool-Aid of The Secret, you know? I did all of that, but I didn't really have an understanding.
Hmm.
And, just like millions of other people who did it, and they're like, "Yeah, no, that's not for me," because there's, like, this process that gets to take place, which I really believe that once we begin talking about this, we'll all have an understanding of what that process looks like.
Right.
Because affirmations aren't about lying to yourself.
No.
And when we are schooled to do affirmations, like a lot of people, um, just say the thing. But when you say the thing that isn't true for you, your body doesn't feel it, it rejects it,
Hmm.
like you're saying. And so I just,
And I think in some ways it's because not all affirmations are the affirmation for your transformation.
right.
So not that's not one size fit all with affirmations. It
Hmm.
it very much could be an exploration of what resonates for you, because we're all so different. We're
Yeah.
really so
We're all
understand.
uniquely different. Yeah.
We are. So you can just have this collection of affirmations or things that seem to work for someone else, and they don't resonate with you. Keep on looking.
Yeah. Yeah, and we talk about the power of words, the power
Mhm.
of words, and how they resonate with you just in your life, and how you talk to yourself and how you talk to others. And when they are intentional thought, they redirect. When they have like that intention behind them, they literally can like shift your identity, not just your mood. Because your mind will believe what it most often hears.
Yes. Yes. And so if you take from that, and we I I know that we will often say similar things or the same sort of structure, but it bears repeating, it bears repeating, it bears repeating, which is part of understanding what's going on with the mental sphere in any one of us, is that the negative thinking or the stinking thinking threads have been repeated on repeat, 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 repeat. And
Mm,
so the understanding of that is finding and replacing and doing the same amount of repetitive thinking on something that's more affirming to you, more positive, more empowering, more supportive. All those things are important to be
mm,
able to understand. Is that a cheerleader inside of your head, or is it undermining what someone else is trying to communicate to you about how worthy you are or how important you might be in their life? And the mental sphere is taking and just like taking that correction tape and then whiting over what they're saying.
yes.
It's like,
I
let's not
I
do
I do that in my mind, actually. When people are talking, I'm like, "Delete, delete, delete." I'm not owning that. I'm not taking that on. And
which
that's
sometimes
through
is healthy.
practice. Yeah, that's
Yes.
just through practice. Because I feel like repetition creates belief, right?
Mhm.
And so when we hear people with their whatever, and it's always the same thing, at what point do we start believing that to be true? That's how the conditioning the works, but it's not even that. It's like even the circles you're hanging, like the people you're hanging around. Like how do
Right.
they talk? How do they think? How do they affirm? There's just so many integral parts of the
Right.
affirmations other than I am awesome.
Now, there does bear saying that I am and whatever follows it are really, there is something about that framework that
Mhm.
it's like a programming key, if I could put it
Yeah.
that way,
Yeah,
to say,
let's get into that tonight for sure, how that all works.
yes. So the I am, and be mindful what you're saying. And so I loved from this article that I was reading that said, look at there's there's a lot of discussion about AI and the different models, and there's lots of different AIs out there, and how it's trained is the bent, or they can, there's some saying that depending on the framework of the company that it's going to, or the mindset of the people that are building it. There was a comment in this article that talked about some of the models are pyramid based, like power structures that have more of a CEO, executive powers at the top structure, because that's woven into the fabric.
Mm,
So taking that analogy of woven into the fabric and understanding that each one of us have had our fabrics woven
mm,
consciously and unconsciously throughout our life. And so to understand, this is not something that's just mind wipe, put something new in. This is a process over time, and being patient and understanding it's a lifelong pursuit that, and the other thing that I've discovered in my work and the process of my own personal growth and working with people for long time, that that it's when something that's ready to be healed or replaced that will come up in your life. So learning how to trust, um, and raising your awareness of what you're seeing and how to interpret your life are all aspects of, we're talking about affirmations, but these are all aspects of knowing which affirmations worked for you, what needs to be affirmed, what needs to be disregarded. That's all part of the living it. You got to live it out.
Practice makes perfect. Yeah, I think that's why the affirmations definitely don't work most of the time, is because we'll say words without really feeling them, and then we're speaking from a place of lack
So
instead
often.
of like embodying it. And the one thing for me before I knew what I know now was inconsistency. Like I was just really inconsistent about it. But I noticed when I started the words that I began to use um wouldn't feel good in my body. And in the moment right then when it didn't feel good, instead of just taking note like that didn't feel good, I'm not going to say things like that anymore. I actually changed it right then and there to reprogram, to rewire so that the next time I use something similar, or said something or felt something similar and spoke it out loud, it was a different frequency. It was a different vibration.
Right. You have to be able to hold it, to be able to hold that level of vibration to maintain it.
Right. Affirmations, I feel like they must, absolutely must be felt and believed and repeated. It's like literally creating new neural pathways,
Literally.
literally.
They're
I like
they're go ahead.
I like when I'm struggling and I'm not able to find the words in that moment. I get to say things like, I am learning instead of I don't know. Like that's my new thing right now is working on saying, well, I don't often say I don't know, other than I'm like, I don't know, like to a real answer, because I don't feel like that's an answer, and it leaves it open to receiving whatever, good, bad, or indifferent. And so I like to switch things around, and I am learning to receive the information quickly and easily. And then all of a sudden, oh, I have the answer. Oh, I have the affirmation. I have the information. It just works out somehow because of the shift in the energy, this shift in the frequency.
Yeah.
And when you start playing around with it and it continues to happen, it's actually a lot of fun and gets really exciting, and you want to do it more and more. It becomes addicting.
It's supposed to be somewhat fun, playful.
Those jets are off schedule.
Right. We did not order them. Flyovers tonight.
I really, 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 really am a big believer in this, and I appreciate that Spatchy brought this up. Also, go to the mirror. Lots of mirror work for this Nilla. So, we were talking about this the other day, like the things we say to ourselves in the mirror. I like that you brought that up. Um, the things, especially, I feel we've had this conversation where the things we say to ourselves, even recently, we've had it again. A lot of people, I think that's where it begins, is when they're looking in the mirror. And so, mirror work is so extremely powerful. I think out of all of the things that I've done on my self-love journey is learned to say affirmations to myself in the mirror. Like really look at myself and say the things in the mirror to myself. Have you done mirror work? I can't remember.
I have in the past. I don't.
I shouldn't say I can't. See? I don't recall. My memory works easily, and I believe you have.
I have in the past, and I remember looking in my own eyes and the mysterious and different experience it was to do that, to pause and really look into my own eyes.
Mhm.
Um, you get there. That's what I remember from it. For me personally, I do a lot of listening to my inner thought stream.
Mm,
And so I know I'm very auditory, and it can be the auditory on the inside of my skin. And so I have learned to listen to my thoughts and then empower myself to say, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not interested in this conversation anymore. I've told myself, stop, stop, just stop. And that was really a powerful practice. And it wasn't just a one and done thing. I took, I went on this 3.5 or 4 year journey of loving myself. And part of it I didn't understand. I think I was divinely guided for sure to go through this, of where I was owning and taking 100% responsibility for my landscape on the inside, specifically with my emotionality, and learning and exploring it and taking full responsibility for understanding it.
mm,
And it made a lot of shifts in my life. And the beautiful thing I can say now is this isn't much as much work anymore. Like
mhm,
I've been integrated with the positive things. So if I reach much further back in my life, when I was much younger, I just plastered my any office that I worked in, because I was an office worker most of my career, was plastered with affirmations and affirmative statements everywhere. So my subconscious, because I understood, my subconscious picks up so much from my environment. And so I was just putting all of those positive statements that resonated with me in my environment.
yeah.
And it incorporated into my fabric of my being. And I did stop saying words like try and sorry. Those are two very specific things that I do, that I just eliminated from my vocabulary almost completely.
Mm.
And that came alongside a mindfulness way of living, like weaving mindfulness into my life as a way of being. Then I didn't feel like I was doing things that I would need to apologize for. And my life ended up that way. So that was one of those things, because I didn't like, when we're talking about affirmations, saying I am sorry to me wasn't a very affirmative statement. It was, if I looked up the word sorry, I didn't want to be that.
Yeah.
So I eliminated that. And to try is to enter the struggle. So I was like, I'm not going to try anymore. I'm working on it. I'm learning. I'm developing that. It's a process.
Right.
Those were ways that I worked on my own.
I like the sorry bit. I've done really well at not saying I am sorry, but I still use the word sorry as more of like uh sorry about that. Like as or I apologize instead of saying I'm sorry or I am sorry. That has been the way I've shifted that because I still use the word. I still feel like there's meaning to the word. It just depends on how it's used because it can be overused just by standing in a room existing. When someone
Right.
walks in and you're like, I'm sorry, I'm
Right.
sorry. That's a whole different situation. And so yeah, it's just like what resonates with you. So when I first started doing the affirmation journey for myself, where it really started making sense and clicking and integrating for me, and Natalie was a big part in this it's been years. We've been doing this for a while. And I think what was really important was the awareness. Like we talked about how it felt in the body, but mine more was not just how it felt in my body because I didn't have that awareness at that time. So in the beginning, it was what thought is running in the background. Because we all have like this inner dialogue running in the background all of the time. Like I could be sitting here talking to you, and in the background, I'm going, "Oh, what am I talking about? I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not making any sense. This isn't okay. They're not listening. People are judging me." Like I could go on and on and on and on. But that's not what's going on in my background anymore. That is something that would have gone on in my background quite often on a regular basis. Is why I'm talking to someone every time they looked at me in any kind of way, or if their eyes shifted, like, why are they looking? Are they judging me? They think I'm wearing something funny. Is there something on my face? Do I, like those things happen. It's just human nature. So just having the awareness of like what thoughts are running in the background. And then when I have this observation that, oh, there is something going on in the background, there is this thought, or there are these thoughts running in the background, I do what I call an interruption. So I stop the dialogue that's taking place, and I'm at, is this serving me? Are these thoughts serving me right now? Are they helping me become a better version of myself? And if there's an inner dialogue going on like that, then most times no. And there's a reason why I did the thought interruption. And literally in that instant, you can do a replacement. You can replace and choose a new statement at any time, at any time. And that's what became the practice for me, is just having the awareness. And then if there was something going on, interrupting what that was going on, and then replacing it with something that was going to serve me in a better way.
Yeah, so um, sometimes we don't have the vocabulary for the
Mhm.
replacement. So I know it's not as frequently done, but writers do this all the time. There was a conversation I was having with a client the other day, and there's this word that I've liked ever since I read it in a book. It was called ennui, which has to do with loss of interest or boredom and no longer being enthusiastic about an aspect of your life. And so my client said, I would just use boredom. And I said, right. But boredom does not give the depth that this other word ennui will do. So not everyone has a deep vocabulary. So that's maybe one of the challenges, is to use Google or do a search to say what. So an antonym is the opposite word. So you want to look up the antonyms or synonyms of something that you would like to be, and feel the words. And if you are want to practice this on a, it's fun and on a deeper level. So this is the other thing that came up in this AI
I'm just
exploration
about to
this morning,
say,
was
ask
like,
AI.
right,
That's
wait,
that's why I started to laugh. Wait,
right.
ask AI.
But in a way, what they were talking about was AI goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And that's what we're asking listeners to do, if it resonates, is to go deeper. So you look up some other words and you're saying, well, if what's the opposite of sorry, if I don't want to have that, or what's the opposite of lack? And we're looking over here, and abundance is a very common word. So maybe that's not actually what you're looking for. You're looking for ease or flow or grace, or, and you're playing with the language. And so I've read throughout my whole life, and I know that I have a good vocabulary because of my years of reading. And sometimes I've been reading some novels. I was reading a book that I just finished, and I'm like, I don't know how this author creates like that, and I'm curious about authors and the way that they create a story and put things to words. So this is a personal explanation or exploration that I'm going through, but this is also really good for this conversation to say maybe we don't have the vocabulary of what we want to be like.
Mm.
And I've done some personal work. You know, we've done this work with theta healing, where you, and I've done lots of sessions where I've had, he's like, well, what do you want to be besides this? And then sometimes I have the words, or sometimes I don't. So then it's like, wow, that's a challenge to even say, well, maybe you don't know what you want to affirm yourself into becoming. What would you like to become? But that's part of this exploration. Grab piece of a pen and a pad of paper, and do some of that research on it, and feel what it is that you would like to become.
That's good stuff.
And we can become it. We are so fluid like that. We are amazing at going towards our next state of being. Our life literally unfolds next, 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 next. And our thoughts actually reinforce what we've been doing and keep us in the patterns that we've been going through, or they allow this mutation and these changes and these adjustments to our life. And oh, it's amazing to work the whole manifester way or manifestation and watch the things show up in your life.
Mm.
It really does work.
It really does. I am blown away by how well it works when you really do an effort to make it work. Woo! And, even as just like a grounding affirmation or like a baseline affirmation is the title of our show. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter.
Nope. Nope. And there's times where you're going along, and I have this happening currently in my life. My neighbors that share the backyard with me have a relatively new dog. I don't know how long, but this dog, when they let it out into the yard and they leave it in the backyard, the dog is not happy about that. And so the dog will bark at the house, or the dog will bark at me in my bed, and it disturbs my peace a little bit. And the other day I found myself like, you be quiet. I don't want to hear from you. I'm talking to the dog a little bit, and then I could feel it just gets under my skin. So I'm like, this is an opportunity to grow myself and allow that to just be noise, or to be that irritating thing that's just like, oh.
That's how I feel about the people upstairs above us when I'm doing energy healing and they're like, thud, 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 thud. I'm like, oh, yeah, patient. Ooh, yep, we got to learn something today.
So then we can have an affirmation that says it's just part of the environment. It doesn't disturb me. I am at peace regardless of the noise going on
And
in
that
my
is
world.
exactly what happens now. Going back to what you were saying, I love the identity level shifts. Like really feeling on who you want to become, becoming the person you want to become through this, and having the exercises to build the identity. And and I just want to add, like, it's not a quick fix, right?
No.
Um but I've never really sat down and have done anything like that before. So that's interesting to me to think I could write down all the things that and all the ways I'd like to become. But I feel like that's my dialogue that plays in the background is as I'm navigating my way through. Well, I really do my best to be in the present moment and be intentional with the things that I say and the things that I think and the things that I feel so that they can be as clean as possible. Um, and especially with that inner dialogue, because yeah, I'll be talking to myself all day. I
Yeah.
do. And I have many times when people are like, "What did you say?" And I'm like, "I wasn't talking to you. Talking to me."
You're not part of this conversation.
And I think it's important. I think it's important to create that inner dialogue, the intentional, healthy inner dialogue with yourself. It also helps you to get to know yourself better. So
Yeah.
that's how I've done that for myself. I've never thought like, "Oh, I should sit down and like make a list." It's kind of like goals, which making a list of goals isn't really, I don't know. I'm gonna feel on that. That's some good suggestions there, miss.
Mhm. Well, we did this little exercise over the weekend that was taking just keywords, and our brains are um, open to that. Of just, it doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to have a whole long 3 or 5, 7 sentences in this affirming. It can be the quality of a word to say, okay, that. There's it was in style, and it probably still is for people to pick a word for a whole year to do that. You're muted.
I said in style. It was a trend for sure. I definitely fell into the trend. I was like, "Oh yeah, I like this." And now I'm like, "Why did I do one word for the whole year when I could do one word every day?
That's
Why did
right.
I limit myself?"
Right, for a whole, so that's one of those things, like, find some words and a discovery process and expand our vocabularies or our mindset or potential and all those things. It and let us know how it works.
I might fail on that. I might. I might. That's just another list of on my list of my big fat list book. But I don't know. It could be fun.
Could
I
be
think it will
fun.
resonate with a lot of people too. And I don't know. I just like to ask myself questions. I think questions are really good for me because I like information. So I like to like dig deeper and and in order to do that, I have to ask more questions. I really
Right.
do get on people's nerves sometimes because I'll ask so many questions, but I don't even care about that anymore because it's not about them. I need information.
Look at you go. Your manifestor nature is just the way for you anymore. I love it.
I'm grateful. Yeah. Question for you guys. Who do you become when you no longer mind want what you no longer mind? It sounded good in my head. Let me try this again. Who do you become when you no longer mind one once bothered you? Do you think about all the things that bother you
Oh, yeah.
and how they get under your skin?
Oh, yeah.
And when you learn to let those go, you do that through a series of events. How do you do that? For me, it's affirmations, but how would you do it? And how do you feel after you let all that stuff go? All those things that once bothered you no longer bothered you, no longer bother you.
Well, yeah. Um,
Am, am I clear?
I think I think so, obviously, because some people are
Okay.
responding.
I feel clear up here. So, words.
Well,
Oh,
sometimes that's actually a good example of how energetic, higher consciousness.
mm,
Um, I remember the one show that you were saying that they just laugh at us because we're we're sometimes so silly in how seriously we take things. And what if you were to, I know that that's one thing that I do. I'm a pretty serious person. And so, like, if I don't take things so seriously and go with
mm,
the flow a little bit more. And for me, that would mean that I would be lighter and more relaxed because my body has always, as long as I can remember, been tense. That's
mm,
just like, maybe I wouldn't be so tense. And I do sometimes like relax my body or feel the tension in my body. So it'd be one thing that I could work on, that I am relaxed and I go with the flow and everything is easy and graceful. That could
mhm.
be a very positive affirmation for me.
I love all the things you guys are sharing. Thank you.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, you feel free.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's how I feel. So, the way I started integrating affirmations to like really get consistent and start utilizing them on a more regular basis is with baby steps. Because I'll have clients ask me, but how are you always so positive and how are you so whatever? And I honestly say what goes on up here is like the most important thing, or for that matter, what doesn't. When you learn to let a lot of stuff go, a lot of the stuff you're feeling right now won't even matter. But right now, while it does, and you're recreating, affirmations are amazing. And that's how I began, but I still use them. And I do say, I am awesome. And I do dance in the mirror and be like, you are awesome. I am awesome. We're all awesome, because it's just a morning mindset for me. And so that's where I started using the affirmations. Mostly was in the morning. That's how I started my day. The first thing I woke up wasn't like, oh, I've got to get up. It's like, oh, I get to get up. I get to go to work. I get to move my body. Everything was a positive instead of a I have to. I get to. And so I just worked with that first. I just did that. That was the first thing that I did. And I still do that. Like, but it's not something I have to think about. Actually, just do it because that's just who I am now.
Right.
And then you can just add on more and add on more. So, like, choose 1 to 3 core affirmations instead of many, and then build upon that, or change them per experience of what you're going through at night. Another good way to start implementing affirmations is, for me, was during triggers, like when something was coming up, is to remind myself, like, I am safe, right? That was a really
Mm-hmm.
important one for me, is I am safe. And I do that one often still. It's one of my affirmations I still use. And really good is before sleep, because as you go to sleep, those are the last things that you're saying as you're going to sleep. They're going to integrate into your subconscious, your unconscious, and your consciousness, period, throughout the night while you're sleeping.
I remember doing some of that when sleep was difficult for a period of my life. Grief When there's loss and there's big changes in life, which is definitely an aspect that's going on now. I definitely get this in the grief group that people, um, the mind just swirling around and trying to figure out how life or the whys or the different types of things. Um, Affirmations, to take that affirmation, and sometimes it's just taking that I'm safe, I'm figuring it out, I know I'm capable of managing my life, I can figure this out. Um, for me, one of the times I used to just say, and I'm gonna float. I'm just floating here, and I would just actually just have myself send myself into my sleep world with float.
Mm.
I'm gonna float. No wonder I was flying in my sleep, floating around in my dreams. I remember that. Oh, that's funny.
I am the creator of my reality. Yes. Yes. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Share your favorite affirmations in the chat. I'm just loving them. We can share on screen for others. There's something that might resonate with someone else.
One of my go-to was just the first line of the Optimist Creed, and it would say, I promise myself to be so strong that nothing disturbs my peace of mind.
Mm.
And I would say that I memorized the whole, there's lots of lines to that Optimist Creed, but I would just use that first line to, it includes being stronger and the recognition that there will be things that disturb my mind, my peace of mind, but allowing that I'll promise myself to be so strong that nothing disturbs my peace of mind. And I would bring that up in times when I would find myself being disturbed. It's like, I know I'm strong enough that I can move through this and still have my peace of mind intact.
Yeah. You are not your thoughts. You are the chooser of them.
Yeah,
So stop choosing those thoughts that don't serve you, that don't
right,
help you.
right.
Mm.
It really does work.
Mm. One of my favorite quotes is your mind is always listening. Speak like it matters because it does.
Yeah, that's along the lines of the lesson learned in the Four Agreements that said it being impeccable with your word. And when I
Mhm.
studied that work, being impeccable with the word, the one of the most profound things about that was my inner space to
Mm.
clean it up, being impeccable in there. That it really does matter. It does matter.
Yeah.
Makes a difference.
Oh, it so makes a difference.
And if we're power enough to make a mess, then we're powerful enough to lighten our life up,
Clean it up.
clean it and clear it.
Actually, m- I just, I'm really proud of us because I know, and the people that we're around, like, I know we have gone through some things, and I
Yeah.
just really am grateful that a majority of us have really taken um, ownership and learned how to work in a way that our mind isn't controlling our lives. And I just think, it does take so much effort. And those of you who are doing this work, like, way good job because it is not easy,
Yeah.
but it is so important. And it will literally change your life because when you repeat, you reinforce. So, literally, what you are telling yourself matters because you will start believing whatever you are feeding your mind. And the moment you stop minding it, you stop feeding it. And it's just, oh, it's just so good. And a lot of people are like, I don't like my life. My life is so horrible. You don't need a new life, guys. You just need a new inner conversation. Like, literally, you can change your life by just changing your mind. I want to put a pause on this before we wrap it up because I want people to have time to vote. So last week we voted because we went into a meditation and really give you a chance to vote. So we voted. So the ones that we didn't use this time, I want to share with you, and then we'll add on one more because that just really helps us a lot when you guys vote.
Yes.
Because then we know what you want us to talk about.
We show up
Oh,
for you.
yeah. Yeah. So good. So, forgiveness as a healing practice, do a heart emoji of any kind as one of them. Forgiveness as a healing practice, do a heart of any kind. How thoughts shape reality, similar to what we're talking about, but a little different. Smiley face emoji. Oh, there we go, Casey. You're not wrong. And then creating sacred space. Do a star emoji of some kind.
Stars
Those,
and smileys and hearts.
yeah, if you guys want me to repeat that, just let me know. Genghis coming in with the music, always bringing in the background. Thank you very much, Genghis. You guys are very active tonight. Awesome. I love it. So good. If you're new to our show, make sure you guys are following us on our social media, which you can find here at soulwanderings.com. And I'll continue to share those throughout the remainder of the show. What else do you have for us with your big, beautiful brain?
I this was one of the tricks. I've said it before. I say similar things. I for a long time my mind would just run, loop, and I just want to put this out there and have you just notice this, our audience. We think about so many things that don't matter. It the thoughts, most of the thinking in there doesn't really matter. So when I would get caught in those cycles, I said I would give my mind something else to chew on, something that was inspirational, educational, uplifting, expanded my the I mean, I since I talk for a living, I definitely have this whole big old chest, this whole chest of things that I can pull from, and so that's a big thing for me to do. But I would have my mind chew on something besides itself. So let
Mm.
your mind do that. Give your mind something else to chew on, something that you find inspirational or um, to feed it something else. I'm not kidding that sometimes, well, I'll say it this way, we cannot solve a problem with the same mind that created it. And so our minds need input. The expansion that can come from understanding or consuming more things. Be mindful of what it is that you're consuming, and um, to be entertained is good. I'm not downing that at all, but there's times where we need to have something else fed in there, and so we may need an expansion in the vocabulary. I appreciate new words and new concepts and things that I'll read in a book that'll be like, oh, I really like that. I like the way that that's put together.
Mhm.
And to be able to utilize that and expand myself with that. We have a lot of things in our world. And there's times where we may not be consuming anything that really helps develop ourselves or expand that. So that's the one thing I just want to go back to for a minute. We may need to expand the vocabulary. I find this often in my work with grief that not everybody has the language for emotions. There's only so many words that we use. Oh, that's what I wanted to earlier today I was thinking about. What are your amount of words very limited? Are you using the same words to describe yourself or a situation or the framework or the world that maybe you're not You have a limited perspective, a limited amount of things, and then looking wider and looking more broadly at it. And the other thing is worry. I'm not a fan of worry. Worry is not an umbrella for anything. Most often, the things that you're worried about never came to pass. So
That
it's
that
such an energy drain. So I was driving with a friend, and she's a worrier, and she was just like, "Yeah, and the world is just going to crap." And I said, "Hey, look around. We're driving on the road in our community. Is that going to crap? Do you see what is going to crap here?" There's times where we can, since we're given belief structures, we're given programming. There's so much propaganda out there in the world. We're given those things on someone else's agenda.
mm,
So I challenge people, have your own agenda for your life. Have your own agenda
yeah,
for that.
I agree.
And opening up that perspective is really healthy.
Yeah, and as far as like thinking that way and the thoughts, like the most powerful thing you think about is the one you'll believe. So if you can think of something different, like the most powerful affirmation,
Mm-hmm.
you'll believe that too. And it will become your reality because your reality is the world that you create.
Yeah.
I've had people tell me you live in a false reality, like you're in La La Land. Okay, it's my land. Let me live in it. I'm okay with that. Well, it's not realistic. To who? It's very real to me.
Well, and that is a demonstration that often comes up where someone doesn't have the same perspective of you because of the things that you've done within your own mental framework to weave a different view, a different lens, a different possibility, a different way to look at the world.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people will hold on to the things that don't serve them
Yeah.
for far too long. And that's the freedom for anyone to have. You can hold on to your stinking thinking if you want. I don't know why you want to, but
It's so uncomfortable.
yeah, it's not
But I
fun.
need to hold on to it with every fiber of my being. Like, no, that's mine. You can't have it. It's mine. And I'm so glad I was like, okay, I don't need that anymore.
No, it doesn't serve me anymore.
It's so heavy to carry. Like, I'm going to set this down.
Right.
And then you forget about it because you're like, oh, I feel lighter. I don't need to pick that back up again.
Mm-mm.
It's crazy how it works. Crazy awesome.
Crazy awesome is right. Thanks, Genghis.
Yeah, everyone, you guys are awesome. Thank you so,
That
so,
was
so
good.
much.
I like that. I'm going to quote that. Have your own agenda.
I do. I live in this reality and I'm good with my reality. You guys are in it. We're having a good time.
That is so true.
Yeah. So it looks like so far this star emoji's in the lead, which is creating sacred space. So as long as that one continues in the lead, that's what we'll go to next week. But like football, any given Sunday, we'll see what happens, who scores next, and we'll go from there. But in the meantime, been fun.
Oh, yes.
The hour's over already. So that happened fast. Thank you. Thank you for all of your amazing input tonight.
Well, that's what happens when I have a morning where I can just drop into my creative space.
Oh,
Receive the messages.
Another vote. Another vote. Thanks for the voting. We really like when you guys vote.
Yeah, we do.
And if you guys ever have a show topic request, you can email us at connect@soulwanderings.com. I don't think we've ever turned away a topic request to this state. We've just done what you guys have asked within reason.
Yes.
I'm just saying that going forward within reason.
Yes.
Awesome.
So that's 3 stars to 2 hearts. So stars win, right?
So far, the stars are in the lead. And probably be creating sacred space. Ooh.
It's definitely an
Yeah.
AJ show.
It's a happy show for sure. I mean, every show is good, but I love talking about the woo woo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You guys, I'm not leaving because they keep getting all this good stuff. I'm just like popping it all on there. Yeah. Any given Sunday. Yeah. Okay, guys. Anyways, we're going to let you go. Our time is up, but it has been so much fun hanging out with you tonight. As always, we enjoy your participation, your energy, your time that you give to us and share with us. Thank you so much. And we'll see you guys all next Wednesday, same place, same time. See you all then. Good night.